Isn't it rich?
The Hammond Circus Train Wreck occurred on June 22, 1918, during the last months of World War I, and was one of the worst train wrecks in U.S. history. 86 people were reported to have died and another 27 were injured when a locomotive engineer fell asleep and ran his train into the rear of another near Hammond, Indiana. The circus train held 400 performers and roustabouts of the Hagenbeck-Wallace Circus. The Hagenbeck-Wallace Circus used old wooden cars that were lit with oil lamps. The circus train had 2 train segments, and the segments that was loaded with animals had been dispatched earlier, leaving the train with all the performers and the workers on the tracks. The cars were being moved to a spot near Gary, Indiana, so a mechanical problem could be addressed, and some of the cars had been left on the main line track. In the early morning hours of June 22, 1918, engineer Alonzo Sargent was at the throttle of a Michigan Central troop train, pulled by MC NYC. He was aware that his train was closely following a slower circus train. Sargent, an experienced man at the throttle, has slept little if at all in the preceding 24 hours. The effects of a lack of sleep, several heavy meals, some kidney pills, and the gentle rolling of his locomotive are thought to have caused him to fall asleep at the controls. At approximately 4 a.m., he missed at least 2 automatic signals and warnings posted by a brakeman of the 26-car circus train, which had made an emergency stop to check a hot box on one of the flat cars. The second train plowed into the caboose and 4 rear wooden sleeping cars of the circus train at the rail crossing known as Ivanhoe Interlocking, at an estimated speed of 35 miles per hour. Upon impact, the circus train lamps ignited the wooden cars and the fire quickly spread. 2 men were stationed at the Ivanhoe signal tower, about 100 feet from the accident, and phoned multiple people in an attempt to raise help for the victims. Most of the 86 who were killed in the train wreck perished in the first 35 seconds of the collision. Then the wreckage caught on fire. The fire was so intense that many of the victims were believed to be some of the African American porters on the train, until further investigation revealed that they had been severely burned. 5 days later, 53 of those killed were buried in Woodlawn Cemetery, in a section set aside as Showman's Rest, which had been purchased by the Showman's League of America only a few months earlier. The section is surrounded by statues of elephants in a symbolic mourning posture. Only 5 of those buried have been formally identified, so the graves of most of the casualties are marked unknown male or unknown female. 1 grave is marked Smiley, 1 Baldy, and another 4-horse driver. The 53 victims that were unidentified were buried in a mass grave.